good question. Why is it important to socialize puppies at a very young age? I can tell you that it really will set your puppy up for success. I'll often use the analogy of just like training your children on how to be great human beings. You set them up to know how they can be the best person that they can be. You want your dog to be the best dog they can be. So what really helps with socializing your pet, and this means getting them out and about, of course, responsibly, and please take your veterinarian's recommendations into account that you have to consider vaccine status, that type of thing. But you can always be carrying your puppy, if they're light enough for you to carry, to be able to be exposed to things like noises, bicycles, skateboards, children. And even be able to, men wearing hats, sunglasses. There's a lot of things you have to consider that they don't reason the way a person would, where you can have understanding explained. They're more of a reactive creature that's looking at physical behavior and sounds. And so exposure to those things are really, really important to ensure that they can stay calm and not surprised or startled easily. That'll make for a great visit no matter what. How does one puppy proof their house with this new arrival? I'll tell you, when you are a new puppy parent, especially if you have potentially just lost an old-timer pet that you've had, it's a bit of an adjustment to get used to a new puppy in the house. So things to watch for, depending, of course, let's consider the size of your puppy. Usually it's best to start with having an isolated small area where you can really watch your puppy closely. Baby gates are really great. Make sure that you consider the size of baby gate, that it's not something the puppy can fit through the bars or possibly get stuck with a head or part of the body. That's important. It's also important that if you have any fragile items or something that's deliciously attractive and chewy, you're going to have those out of the way as well. We're talking plants, have those out of the way. Shoes, have those out of the way. Any sort of strings, string items are real important, like rope or rugs with fringe. That can be something that can be real concerning, especially as you're trying to watch for a new pup. Why is behavioral training so important for puppies? Well, anybody that has their manners is always the most appreciated individual, right? So sometimes when we are being that pet parent, we want to love them, and it's just so cute to see your little 10-pound puppy, 20-pound puppy jumping on you because they're going to give you a hug. And then we kind of second guess that when they become a 70-pound puppy, okay? So this is real important that you implement some training to just set up manners, as well as set them up for success on what your expectations are. And there are some very, very equipped trainers in our county and potentially close to where you live. You can ask your veterinarian for recommendations as well, because those trainers are typically very well versed in your breed and to know exactly how to set them up for success. It's important that you ask your trainer and your veterinarian for good advice on training versus friends and relatives potentially, because they don't necessarily know the personality of your pet. And to set you both up for success, that trainer will not only train your dog, but they'll also train you, and that will create the most ultimate human-animal bond. How do you prepare for that trip to the vet? I know as a two-legged or as a four-legged, that can always sort of generate sort of an anxious response, all right? A little bit of anxiety that can come up with that. So some things that you can do to really help ahead of time for your pet is to, at home, play with their feet, play with their ears, especially when you're asking your veterinarian, hey, can you do that nail trim or clean those ears? It's really nice that you can desensitize your pet ahead of time to make sure that they will not have any squabbles or concerns about it. Or you may find that there are concerns your pet have with touching their feet or their ears, and you can warn that veterinary staff ahead of time. Really collaborate and be that team player. The other thing you can do is bring your pets hungry. Nowadays, there's so much feedback in the veterinary community about a fear-free experience or how to decrease anxiety, and why not through their belly. So it's good. We'll have cheese, we have fun treats, we have Cheerios. There's a lot of fun things for your dog, so bring them hungry. The other reason you bring them hungry, for accurate blood work results. So that way we already can make sure that there will be no false readings because your pet has eaten. That can happen sometimes. Have a stool sample ready, have a urine sample ready. Those things, you can try to catch ahead of time, and so that will also facilitate your pet's experience, so that way we don't have to poke and prod on them for all those necessary samples that we may need. So I think one thing I want to talk about is positive versus negative reinforcement. It's real tough in this day and age. There's a lot going on for you as a pet parent that had nothing to do with your pets. And so we tend to have a bit of an impatience as we're trying to put these expectations of good behavior on our pets. A lot of the no, or, I've heard people just go and get a shock collar real quick because that'll learn them, type of thing. And I think it's real important that you remember that this dog is just trying to please you. And so you have to, and they operate very well on positive reinforcement. Please consult your veterinarian, please consult your trainer on some very effective measures to before you reach for a more impatient method, because it can actually cause more detriment to your animal. Your pets are always, I have a puppy, she's 1 year old, I have the corner chewed on my couch. I don't expect a perfect puppy, but I have to be patient with her and know, okay, she's a little bit bored. I need to work on walks more. I need to work on some things. So consult your trainers, consult your veterinarian for help, because they feed off of you. And it's real important that if you're feeling real negative about a situation, they're going to act out too. And so try to really pay attention to those things, and really work hard and be attentive to where you are, and so that way you're not actually projecting onto your pet, because all they want to do is love you and all they want to do is have fun. So make it a fun experience for them. So thank you for joining me today on our little chat with Hatt on one of my favorite topics, which is your pet. So I look forward to talking to you next time. Enjoy that cup of coffee, stay warm, and stay happy. Take care.